for those who maybe have not been to a flag retirement ceremony, explain what you all did and how often does this happen?
Well, this is an annual event for the American Legion Post here, and we normally hold it on Flag Day, which is June 14th, which also happens to be the birth date of the Continental Army, if you remember. Anyway, our purpose is to honorably and respectfully retire used and worn flags that people don't know what to do with. We collect these at local fire stations, a lot of other veterans posts, our own post, and some people just drop them off at my house because they got the word. So how we do this is we go through a rite. That rite is written in our case, the American League protocols of how to check the flags for their condition, make sure that we're not retiring anything that doesn't deserve to be, etc. So again, it's a once a year event. It's a major one for the American Legion Post here. We hold it right outside of our building because we have a fire pit and we retire those flags one by one in the fire pit, rendered our salute, etc. We also invited these past couple of years the Marine Corps League's Honor Guard to come and fire a final salute over those flags and also to honor the people that those flags flew over. Now, these celebrations, I shouldn't call it a celebration. These rites usually last less than an hour. Now, in this particular year, we also had a display room to be dedicated, open and dedicated. And that display room is to collect and display flags that have been unclaimed at the burials at the National Cemetery primarily. And to explain that, every veteran has a right to a burial at the National Cemetery. And we have one of the major ones here, a beautiful site here in Fort Smith. And the most important part of that cemetery is the flag folding ceremony or rite, in which the flag is folded into the tri-corner shape and then presented to the next of kin. Sometimes there is no next of kin to give the flag to. So what happens to that flag? It goes into storage either at the National Cemetery or to the burial house, or sometimes we even find them when someone is cleaning out a storage room, for example. You never know. Now, unlike in Arlington, where you have the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and this is not intended to compete with that, we know the person's name for the most part, their rank, the year, and the branch of service. We intended to give them a home. At first, for the last few years, the Marine Corps League, that also supplies the honor guards at the National Cemetery, was collecting these. They ran out of room and they asked the American Legion if we had any storage facility that could take them. And we converted one of our storage rooms into a display room to honorably show those flags and give them a final home.
Going back to the retirement ceremony, not a lot of people, or how many people do you think don't know that actually burning the flag is the proper way to retire a worn and tattered flag?
I would say that most people do not know that. They may have heard of it, or they associate the flag burning with some type of protest. And of course, that's done in anger and without the honor and respect that those flags are due.
What defines a worn or tattered flag?
Well, it's the condition of the flag. The first indicator really is something being torn because it's many times, and the wind and the weather act against those flags, particularly the cotton ones, which are the best flags, but they're also the ones that get worn out first. There's that. There is accumulated dirt, sometimes something else on the flag. So it's when the person wants to replace that flag with a new one.
How important is it to have the room with these unclaimed flags? What's the significance of actually holding on to these flags?
Well, we feel that everyone there deserves a home, and we honestly believe that they're tied to the person that was buried with those flags. Now, the American Legion Hall, if someone wants to come by and see them, they can come during our business hours, which right now are Monday, Wednesday, Fridays in the morning, and we'll be glad to bring them through there. They can sign that they've been there, our guest book, and everyone who's seen it has a sense of awe when they see that display room.
How long has it been open, and is there a room for more flags to be added?
Well, it was opened about a month ago, but the dedication ceremony, of course, was June 14th, Flag Day. We have room for many, many more. Now, fortunately, it isn't a very common occurrence that they're unclaimed. For example, many of these flags have been unclaimed for years, several over a decade in storage with no home. Right now, we have 20. We've got room for many, many more.
All right, Charles, thank you so much. What a great way to honor those and memorialize those who really didn't have anybody to pick up their flags or take possession of their flags. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daren. It's our honor.